For more on this deal with Billy Butler, headed to the Bay, let's welcome in MLB.com A's reporter Jane Lee. And Jane, we were just mentioning that while Billy Butler's numbers have kind of gone down the last few years, he's really still in his prime, not yet 30 years old. So how much confidence is there with the A's that he can kind of find that power again?
Yeah, that's something that Billy Beane was just talking about on a conference call. He's pretty optimistic that this past season he had, maybe it's something of an anomaly, and maybe, he can get back to the hitter he was in 2012. And even if he doesn't, what he did this year is still an upgrade to the A's. They hit, I believe it was 239 against left-handers. Their DHs combined to hit 215. Both of those were the worst marks, in the American League. So regardless, of whether he gets back to hitting 300 or not, he's going to be better than what they had. And they just, they needed a middle-of-the-order right-handed bat. That's something they haven't had since Cespedes left for Boston, and they couldn't go into next season without one. And they just knew they had to move quickly on this. And, maybe they did overspend for a guy like Billy Butler, but who isn't overspending these days? The market's so crazy right now, and they knew that if they waited too long, once a few guys come off the board and then Butler's moving up there and, his price is going up, they were going to be outpriced. And so they had to get in there quickly. They contacted him as soon as they could this offseason, and it sounds like, everything moved very, very, very rapidly just because they knew they had to get it done if they really wanted him.
A lot of times guys have a hard time, accepting that DH role only because there's a lot of downtime. When they're in the field, they can take their defense and make a big, improvement for the team and take those, maybe at-bats away. Where does he fit? Do you see him filling in for Moss at times, or is he strictly just a DH?
No, Billy Beane said he will definitely play first base. And, you look at the past couple of years, he hasn't played there a lot, but you have a guy like Eric Hosmer, of course you're not going to play first base a lot when you have, a gold glover like that there. So Beane does want to give him the opportunity there, says he'll definitely see some time there against left-handers, which would suggest something of a platoon with Moss. And then, on those other days, of course, he'll DH, but he will be going back and forth just because the A's are, they love versatility. They preach it. They want their guys to be able to move around, and Butler is going to be no exception. They expect him to be able to do both. And, he's not the best defender. Obviously, they got him for his bat, but, he's going to, I think, with more time there, you'll see that improvement.